Stop trying to have the perfect personal brand. It is costing you
This
money.
is why creators who don't have the most polished aesthetic on social media wind up being the top creators. Wind up going viral before the people who spend hours polishing just even the most basic Instagram story post. And this video is coming from someone who doesn't have that many followers herself, but has worked with big brands and also has helped them to grow and scale their own social media presence and enter into new markets. I've been a creative for a really long time, anything from fashion to now working on design. I've done most of it, and sometimes I've done it myself. And as someone who is also chronically online, let me tell you guys that social media is changing, and it's changing in a way that you don't even believe it. On this channel, we talk a lot about branding, and what one of the biggest patterns that I'm seeing on social media as of 2026 and 2025, I would say, is how people who have a sort of unpolished aesthetic of just posting are making more money most of the times than creators who have the most polished aesthetic on social media who have millions of followers. Let me break this. And first, we have to grab some tea and get into this. I don't have my new mic today because I could not find the one piece that I needed. So we're going to go with old classic. A lot of times there are creators or even some businesses who are trying to be successful, are trying to get their brands out there, and they spend so much time and money each and every single month doing photo shoots, doing brand launches, spending a lot of money on strategic, maybe even having more people come in. And the truth is, some 9 out of 10 times their strategy does not wind up going exactly how they plan it for it to go. And it winds up not reaching as many people as they wish to. And they also wind up spending a lot more money as opposed to someone who's trying to do entirely organically. And it's great to have consistent branding as well as brand tone and changes. But one of the things that I've noticed in 2025 and in 2026 even is how people are looking for those brands that are sort of raw in a sense, whereas though the content is super relatable, it's not the most prim and polished, but it's the most that thing that is real. And that's another thing. When you do create content that is so polished or over polished, and it feels like it was made in studio, you wind up sometimes doing the opposite effect of being relatable to your audience. The truth is that having prim and polished content, whether it is you're doing personal branding or branding for a business, it looks great, but does it really look human? And that's the thing about 2026, especially with the invention of AI and all of these tools that we use. And we use them on an everyday basis. It's kind of understanding, is this a real person or not? Or is this a real brand or not? And consumers, as well as people who are consuming content, are being more, I would say, conscious of that as well when they're even consuming the content. And when I say messy or when I say raw content, I'm not talking about things that are unprofessional, things that you can't understand it at just one glance, or things that are overly edited 2016 Instagram filters. That's not what I mean by raw or uncut or unfin or messy looking. I'm talking about showing things from different points of view, whereas though maybe one clip will look this way and another one will look a different way, and there's nothing wrong with that. It may look like sharing things from your phone instead of uploading everything from a desktop, or it may look like just taking photos on your phone instead of a huge DSLR and with a whole production team behind you, or just posting even if the lighting isn't the best but the quality's there. And there's also nothing wrong with being quote unquote inconsistent when you're focusing on building. And even out of the brands that I follow, when I was building my own brand and really getting to the roots of why I decided to build my own brand, my first posts were not something that was super over the top or elaborate. They were something just showing you guys basic behind the scenes, basic of what it means to go into product creation, showing why I started, telling my audience why I started and why I decided to do my brand. And those videos wind up giving me more traction than videos of just posting generic content that I thought that my audience would align with. And those are the videos that actually did really well of me being more relatable and more accurate to an audience. So if you're coming from a place of wanting to start a brand, or if you've already started a brand, consider just showing raw uncut footage, maybe stuff that you possibly wouldn't even think of uploading or people wouldn't want to view. That's more than likely the videos that they would want to look at, the behind the scenes, the raw nitty gritty of being a business owner or a brand operator or designer, whatever it is that you're currently working on. That's what people are going to want to see. And really just building out the brands. Uh, I'll also give another example of this. So they have a bunch of people on TikTok who come around with like sob stories or stories about things that haven't gone great in their life, and then they post that every single day, and so on and so forth. And it gets really good engagement, but then it winds up going down towards the end of a few months of just having the same sob story on TikTok or any app or even in real life that gets old of listening to. But that sort of struggle content does really well in the beginning because people can relate to struggle and they can relate to maybe shortcomings as opposed to people who are just driving around with a Lamborghini but didn't tell you how they got it. Now, with that, being able to incorporate the struggle also, but not just struggle content into your content can definitely help to be more relatable and also to attract hopefully the right type of people with the content you post after the struggle content. And why? Why does that build it? It builds the relatability, but then it also builds up trust. Because let's be real, no month is the same, no business runs the same month to month. Although when you have the correct systems in place, but that's a whole nother video. With this mindset of being relatable, it really does take a lot of pressure off of content creation, and it makes it a lot easier to find content and also to upload it. And when you show them, as people say, oh, yes, I understand that. That is literally me right now. They can relate to it. They can see themselves in the content and actually take something from it. And that actually creates a lot of value. And that's really the whole point of posting certain types of content, is to either entertain, to write value, or to shock, basically. Those are the main three categories that social media and really life thrive off of. But I will say with social media, and especially when it comes to branding, making sure that you have possibly all three, but also making sure that you definitely have the relatability content down and your audience understands what it is that you're all about. And this is the big one. So when it comes to, I think I've said this on a previous video. When it comes to things that are wanting to align with, you also have to have speed. And speed is not what you think it is. It's not just, oh, let me make all of this content and then you're winding up sitting on it. Speed is more so about getting yourself and working with your energy in order to batch out as much as you can, or to work in a way where as though you're able to produce content and upload it faster, as opposed to being that person, as opposed to some content creators who do spend hours and hours of editing and creating content just to upload one video. And I've been guilty of this many a times, especially when I first started my YouTube channel. Around a year ago, I started this channel, but I was doing YouTube for previously. And at that time, editing was always this big hurdle. And it's slowly gotten a lot easier. And I will say that definitely getting into editing a little bit better for me. But I will say this, really taking into account how much time does it take me to make one video that's this size? How long does it take me to upload a reel or a short? How long does it take me to edit this from the time that I filmed it to the time that it's uploaded? And taking that process and really systemizing it in a way where as though it works for your schedule, it works for your energy, it works for everything that you're feeling like you're aligned with or wanting to align with. And the truth is, consistency and making sure that your audience knows when you're uploading a video will beat perfection time and time again. So if you are struggling with content, don't even try to make it perfect. Make it intentionally bad, but ship it anyways. And just continue to just do that, because the real thing is not about trying to make things perfect off of the jump. The main thing is trying to make something. That's it. And believe it or not, especially Instagram and also YouTube, the algorithm loves that. It picks up on imperfect content, the most simplest things, especially on TikTok. For example, TikTok, it goes viral and then winds up going viral for many reasons, mainly because of the relatability and because it's short and simple and people can interact with it a lot quicker and move on with it, take something from it and move on, because they're not just taking something from it, they're also engaging with it. And engagement is what you actually want. So when you're shipping the relatability content, when you're shipping out all of these things, you're actually building engagement. And if you continuously are consistently building and shipping the same amount of content each day, each week, each month, you're going to build an audience in no time and be able to take your personal brand to that next level of what it is that you want to do. All while fully honoring your own personal goals and energy levels, which is super important for content creation, but also building a business and anything that goes with that. To be quite honest with you guys, at this point in time, building a business is what content creation is. If you want to have a business in 2026, you will definitely need to be a content creator of some sort. You possibly don't even need to do like on screen content. You can probably even just do off screen, or there's so many ways of creating. And lastly, my last point is being sustainable. As someone who has done all of the content creation and in a concept to seeing it shipped to uploading it on social media, let me guys tell you that if you consistently wait for professional photos and you don't take the initiative, or you're constantly obsessing over, is this going to fit my aesthetic, is this camera good enough, or do I need to go out and buy a whole new setup, the answer is no. And sometimes simple is better, and simplicity is king in terms of building on social media, building your own platform, and getting an audience that actually understands and converts for what it is that you're looking to create. And the whole point of this is making sure that your own creative energy is not wasted by the perfectionism that can go with making content and overall your entire journey as a content creator. And the truth is, sometimes it is less about being perfect and more about posting more and having that audience be there and understand, and also to be there and to hopefully make money while you're doing it. But really, the first thing to focus on is that value, the entertainment, like if you want to be an entertainer, and focusing on impact. Because to be quite honest, there are a lot of influencers out there. You want to make sure that you're aligned with whatever it is that you are building and shipping it. And so if you've made it to this far in a video, I'm going to give you a bit of actionable steps that you can take. And this is actually something that has helped me as a content creator and as a business owner. Is, let's say that you are constantly thinking about uploading something. You've had this idea for months. You take it and you write it down for, set a timer for 10 minutes. So 10 minutes go by, and at the end you look at the list of ideas that you have. What's the one thing on that list that you can do first that is very simple, and just pick up a phone and either film yourself talking about it, and just hit upload. Don't even edit it for more than 5 minutes or 3 minutes, and then post it, and then do it the next day and then the day after. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that standing aside you and the person who is known on social media is how many times you hit the upload button. And with that being said, you guys, I think that we've made it to the end of the video. But if you are looking for more content like this, you see the channel there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.